Hi, I'm Garland. We're going to do a walkthrough today on a 2005 Palomino Stampede. It's a hybrid model. That's a little bit of a cross between just a hard shell camper and a pop-up. So we'll start at the door, go around the outside, do the compartments, and then we'll go inside. Door just works like a door. You got your screen door separation here, regular door. Latches, you've got your steps that just fold up and slide in. Have this little T-bar that if you are going to separate the doors or you want the main door to be held open, it fastens over here so that the wind's not going to catch it and be slamming it back and forth. As we move down here, you've got this little rail hanging here. That's for an outdoor grill. And there is one. It comes with this camper. It's inside the pass-through storage. You'll see it when we get there. If you use that, you just hang it on here, and then right underneath here is your hookup for your remote propane. It's a little quick connect hose issue. Works just like quick connect water hose. Of course, you've got your electric brakes here on your wheels. This little cap at each wheel will come off, and there's a grease cert there so that you can grease your bearings. Here you've got your stovetop vent. It's got two little latches here so that when you're camping you open it. So when you turn on your vent fan, it'll open the door. When you turn the vent fan off, it'll close. We always urge you to at least latch it when you're not camping or sitting for an extra period of time so that bugs and insects don't try to climb in there. Got your outside porch light, which looks like it needs a lens. This is the access panel to get to your refrigerator mechanics. Probably nothing that you'll ever fool with, but just know that that's what it is. This is your furnace exhaust. Two things to know about that. When you're running the furnace, it will get hot enough to leave a mark. The other thing is there are certain bugs and insects that love to climb in there and sniff propane. They're totally addicted to it, and they'll do anything to get in there. They only come out when you're sitting under the awning trying to relax and have a nice time. So get the screen that covers your furnace exhaust. It does two things. It keeps anybody from accidentally bumping against it and getting burnt, and it keeps those insects and bugs from getting in there in the first place. Right next to that, you've got a double outlet for 110 power. The next thing along this side of your camper is your hot water tank. It takes a plug with an anode rod on it, goes in right here. We have it all drained right now. We always urge people to do that in between camping trips so that your water doesn't sit in there and get stale and stagnant. It's just not very pleasant. This little doodad right here is a pressure release valve. So when you're getting ready to drain this hot water tank, you want to release the pressure so that when you're taking the plug out, the water will just run out nice and smooth instead of spitting and sputtering all over you. Sure. There we go. You've got a manual awning. After we do the outside, we will run this awning out and back in. It looks like they're about ready to move this camper next to us, which will give us room to do that. Right now we just don't have room. This is what we call your pass-through storage. It goes clear across. You know, you can put bodies in this side, take them out the other side. The neighbors will never even know. What's inside this plastic bag here is the grill that we talked about hanging down here on your rack. You got your awning hook, which we'll put outside here so we don't forget. You also have this crank that does your stabilizer jacks. Looking to see, they're underneath here. So you've got one at each corner, two in the front, two in the back. So that takes care of this side. This is your propane tank cover. It's got this little kind of a latch here. It's rubber. It expands so that you can pull it and get it off of there. We'll do the same thing on this side, and then you'll be able to see what we have underneath here. You got two 20-pound propane tanks. They're full. They work just like propane tanks on your gas grill at home. This valve, if you turn it this way, it opens it. This way, it closes it. It's got a little regulator right here. Whichever way this little arm is pointing, if they both happen to be in the on position, it's going to pull off of the one that it's pointing at first. It will automatically switch over and start pulling off the other one. I warn people about that because the second tank can run empty on you and you didn't even know the first one was empty. So I urge people to keep one closed, one open, and then when the one does run out, you know it. You know you've got a full tank left, and you know you have to replace or refill the first one. It's a new marine grade deep well battery. It's not sealed, so you're able to check the levels in it. During the summer, we suggest you check it once a month. Up here in the front, you've got all of your hitch equipment. You've got your hand crank. You got your ball latch here. You have your 7-way plug, safety chains, and this is your emergency brake cable. You're going to have that attached to your tow vehicle, so if for some reason this thing would ever come unhitched from your vehicle while you're going down the road, it will pull, the cable will pull and set the brakes on your camper so that it stops it instead of letting it sail down the road past you. Got another little outside light here to help you see what you're doing. This is the other side of your pass-through storage. It's another style of crank for your stabilizer jacks in case you need them. These two pieces right here will go together and make a crank for your slide room in case it ever stops working electronically. You can manually run it. Also under here, it's very hard to see, but you have your water pump in the back there. You've got your water filter case, water filter wrench, and that all installs right here in line. So when you're hooked up to city water, you can actually put that on there and have a water filter filtering the water before it comes into your camper. So this is your city water connection. Put your hose on there, spin it right on, it threads onto your hose. If you're going to use a water pressure regulator, you put that on the end of your hose, put the threads of the regulator up here, and it'll thread on. This cap below it, that's for your freshwater connection. That's if you're going to go someplace where you're dry camping, you don't have a city water connection. If you're going to be going down the road and you think you might want to use any of the facilities in here, you want to at least put a few gallons in there to be able to do that. But you just put a hose there, run water in. When it's full, it's just going to run over. It's just made to do that. It's like filling up a bucket or any other kind of a water jug. Let's see if there's anything else here. That all looks good. You've got a slide room on this camper. The seals are rubber. So like any rubber product, if they're sitting out in the sun getting baked, eventually they will become brittle. And then that will affect the integrity of your seal. So we urge you to use a product called Slide Room Seal Lubricant. Spray that on there about once a month during the summer. That'll keep this nice and pliable and keep your seal in good shape. This would be the access hole where you would put that crank that runs your slide room manually in case it stops working electrically. This unit has an outside shower. It's got a 6-foot shower hose in it, shower head, hot and cold water. It's great for kids, pets, and scaring the heck out of neighbors. Out here you also have hookups for a landline telephone, and if you go someplace that offers you cable or satellite, that's where you put your signal cable in. You've got a little light out here.
Everyone's favorite thing is your sewer connection. It's a universal connection, so no matter what kind of hose you get or where you get it, it's going to fit on here. Then you've got your gray water, which is everything out of your sink tubs and showers, and your black water, which is everything out of the commode. It even lists it up here. Also underneath here, you've got your water line drains so that you can drain all the water out of your water lines and also out of your fresh water tank. This unit comes with a detachable 30 amp cord service. So this cord comes with it. It's about 28 feet long. This is what your plug's going to look like. It's going to have the two blades and a prong. Looks like kind of like a dryer plug. If you are going to try to plug it into the side of your house or your garage and you just got a regular 110 outlet, get what we call a dog bone style adapter that'll take it from 30 amp down to the 110. And then you can plug it in the side of your house, side of your garage. Or if you're going to a friend's house and just want to hang out there and they don't have a 30 amp service plug, you can use your 110 adapter and do that. The rear bumper on almost all travel trailers are made so that the cap will come off and inside you can store your sewer hose. And these people indeed left their sewer hose here, and sometimes these will get worn and make it easy for them to come out accidentally. So you can see inside they did leave your sewer hose. They also were worried about this end coming off while they're going down the road, so they drilled a tiny little hole, just took a piece of wire and put that in there, and that keeps that from disappearing and letting the sewer hose sneak out of there for you. Here is just a bracket on your spare tire. You can see it's adjustable, so you can loosen it and slide it anywhere up and down the bumper here. Some people take it off altogether. You could maybe put a bicycle rack. This bumper will accommodate like somewhere between 200 and 300 pounds. Not a whole lot of weight, just be careful with it. I have these two stays out here. When we get finished with the inside and we come outside, we're going to put down one of the beds so you can see how that operates, and also we'll do your outdoor awning. So as we come around the corner here, that brings us back to where we started on the outside. So we'll go inside now and do the inside items. All right, we're on the inside of this unit now, and the first thing I'm going to point out to you is underneath this counter you have light switches that will do your porch light and will do the main lights inside your camper. If they're not attached with a wall switch or an under counter switch, it's going to be right on the fixture itself, like that. So first walk in, get your lights on so you're not stumbling around in the dark. You got keys. These keys will be put in a top kitchen drawer. Got a catalog, that's also going to be in there with them. Got your sink cover, got a little double sink, hot and cold water, sliding window. Down here you've got your microwave. Does all the stuff a microwave does. Timer's working. Got a over stovetop light. You also got your vent fan that we talked about outside. In between these things you do have, they put a sound system in here. It looks like it does cassette tapes, AM FM radio. I'm not sure what all else it will do. It does pretty much everything a radio does. You got a fast forward thing for your tape. So that's all that sound system right there. Your stovetop will light with a sparker. Each of these little icons tells you which burner you're talking about. So this says front center. You put that on light, turn the sparker, and it's going to light your burner. And then once you have it lit, you can control the flame higher or lower and off. Each burner is indeed working. Then the other knob you have here is for your oven. You put it pilot right here. You push that in. Take a fire stick, put it down here underneath this tube, while you're holding the pilot light button in. Pilot will light. Once it's lit, then just like any pilot light, you let it come out, and then you can adjust the temperature for your oven. So that's that unit. And this little top, you raise it up, pull it forward, and that closes it. So when you're not using your stove, you've got this extra counter space here. Refrigerator, it's an RV refrigerator, so it will run on electric or gas. So I always urge people, put it on auto, and then whenever you're plugged into an outlet for power, it's going to run your refrigerator. If the power goes out because of a storm or some other reason, it loses power. As long as you have this in the auto position and you've got a propane tank in the on position, this refrigerator will go find that propane and continue to operate your refrigerator. When the power comes back on, it will shut down the propane and go back to electric. Got a freezer space that has an adjustable shelf. Refrigerator, looks like we need a bulb for the refrigerator light, but it does have one here. Adjustable shelves, crisper drawers. It's got a little shelf here with a cutout, so if you want to put a milk jug or a iced tea jug in there, you've got room for it. This is just a return for your furnace. You don't have to worry about a filter or anything to change in it. That's just what it is. So try not to block it so that it can't breathe when you're trying to run your furnace. Before we get out of this kitchen area, I found this in here, which is a plus. They left you all of the manuals for your camper and for all of the appliances. So I'm going to put that right back up here. It's always a plus when you get a pre-owned camper to be able to have the manuals. Huge deal. So thank those people for doing that. Your air conditioner unit is here. It's got the feature that they call a cold air dump. So these little vents here, if you open that, it just pours cold air down here as hard and as fast as you can get it. The more you close that, then the more it forces out the vents, which are here in the ceiling. And you can change direction on those because typically one of you is sweating and somebody else is still freezing, and so that just helps take care of that distance for you. These two little tabs right here, you can release that little door and then replace the air conditioner filter. It's the kind that you can replace, you can vacuum it, or you can wash it out. So just know that that's where it is. Around the Midwest here, probably check it 2 or 3 times a year. If you're traveling with it and you're going places that have a lot of extra sand and things in the air like Florida, West Texas, Arizona, places like that, you'll want to check it a lot more frequently because that filter is going to be collecting all that dust and it'll start to affect the performance of your air conditioner. So as we move down here, up in the ceiling, you've got your TV antenna. You crank it up, crank it down. When it's up, you can pull this little dish down and adjust it directionally to help your picture come in a little better. Also on this wall, you've got your thermostat. It shows off, heat, and cool. So you put it in whatever format you want. Like if you want it to cool, you put it up there. I just heard the air conditioner kick on because they've got this slid way down. So if you move this up, it got to a warmer temperature, so it shuts your air conditioner off. If you put it down on furnace and have this pushed up to hot, I hear the blower kicking on for your furnace. So the blower will kick on, then the burner, and this is how you adjust what temperature you want it to be. So I'm going to put that in the off position. When the furnace is running and you put it in the off position, it does the same thing it does on your furnace at home. The burner will shut down, then the blower will continue to operate until your ductwork is clear. So in a little bit you'll hear the ductwork click off. You got a fan that you can have on or auto, high or low. So that's your thermostat. Here is your water heater reset. So you put it on. If for some reason it goes out or you're having trouble with it, this light's going to come on here and warn you about it so that you can reset it. See, that's everything over here. This seat does not have much storage underneath it. You can get this seat base off of here, and there's a little bit of room, but mostly it's your hot water heater back here. So you can get to the back of it when you're bypassing it for winterization. The other seat, the whole top does come off. That's all storage. This table will collapse. You put this leg up, and then it'll come off of those hinges at the back and sit down here on these ledges. Then you put the seat backs in the center to finish up the mattress, and you've got a bed here. You got a little vent up here for just ventilation. There's no fan or anything. This is your front tilt out. They just folded it in here. You can fasten this up so that these stay up out of your way when the bed's in. But typically when you're camping, obviously it's going to be out. And when we finish in here, we will at least do the one. They're both going to operate exactly the same way, but we'll do one. We'll put it out and also put it back up so you can see how that works. The shepherd's hook for this front one is laying here on the floor for everybody to trip over. So when this bed is out and operating, that'll be up here holding the tent portion of your slide out in the up position. Also over here, I'll try to hold things out of the way so you can see what we're doing. You got a 110 outlet. Here's where we would pop in a landline phone, because you saw the hookup for it outside. Here's where you would put your TV. The signal would come out of here, and then it's got the little TV signal enhancer right there. This is a 12-volt hookup. The reason there's a 12-volt hookup here is because they still make 12-volt TVs for campers and boats. So in every camper and every boat, no matter how new or old, you're going to have a little 12-volt hookup for a 12-volt TV. So that's what that's all about. If you're not using it for a TV, you can pop a 12-volt charger in there. You've got lights under here. There's a little switch underneath that counter that turns them on. You have your blinds. They go all the way up, all the way down. This one happens to be an exit window. Besides just a nice window with a screen in it, the exit window will pop out, push, and you grab these red tabs, and that yanks the screen out of your way so that you can get out that window in case you need to. This is a little jackknife bed. You just raise the seat up and it's going to lay flat like that. Then you've got some cubby spaces if someone's using this as a bed and wants to have some private or personal items there that they just don't have laying out in the middle of your camper. So that's how that goes back up. Smoke detector. As we come down this wall, you've got closet space, a big hanging space, and you got a dresser drawers. Remember, on campers, these drawers aren't going to pull straight out. You need to pick up on them. They're built that way so that going down the road, they don't just slide open while you're driving down the road. While we're standing here, what you see is your little monitor panel and your water pump button. So if you're using your freshwater tank instead of city water hookup, you turn that on, it's going to run your water pump. That's how you get water out of that tank. Then here's your little monitor panel. It's telling you here that your battery is full. Freshwater tank, empty. Black tank, got something in it. Gray tank. So what we'll do when we're finished here, we'll go around to the dump station and make sure that black and gray tank are empty. So that's what's there. Here is the in and out button for your slide room. It makes that noise when it's all the way in. It's going to make that same noise when it's all the way out. You just hit the other end of the button and it's going to run it back out. Makes a huge change to your floor plan inside here. So the key thing for that slide room going in and out, you want to make sure before you run it either direction that you don't have anything hanging up on it on one end or the other that's going to get caught and cause you a problem, because it will get ugly if it catches something on the way out or on the way in. Something's going to give. It's usually not a pretty result. So just make sure everything is clear when it's running in and out. This light switch right here is for your bathroom light. So you've got a bathroom in there, you've got the light in the ceiling, you've got your tub shower, you got your commode. It's your typical RV commode. It even tells you on the seat what to expect. There's not going to be a big bowl full of water. You push on the foot pedal and it allows more water to come in here, and then when you push the pedal completely down, it flushes it. So all that information's right here on that seat in case you forget. Got a little medicine cabinet space. You have your vent. So it's always nice to have when you're in there taking showers or you're trying to shave or whatever and your mirror gets all fogged up. That'll help keep that clear. You got a little bit of storage above there for like linen, things like towels, washcloths, and things like that. So that's your bathroom space. Back here, you have a little bit of storage here. This, you turn this little button here and that opens up, and there's your breaker switches and your fuses. They're just typical auto fuses. You don't have to get a special kind of fuse to work the fuses in here. And then this little doodad right down here is your carbon dioxide monoxide sensor. Before we finish up with the inside, people a lot of times will say, "What's this?" That's an access panel. If you ever need to get to the plumbing inside your shower tub area in there, you just take those 4 screws out and this panel come down, you've got access to the plumbing in there. So now, the next thing we're going to do is go out and put this end down. So we'll turn off the camera, we'll go outside and get ourselves set up so you can see how that works. Part of it happens outside, part of it happens inside, so bear with us as we work in and out. Okay, we're back outside. We're going to talk about this end slide here. So it's got these little latches that screw in to keep it nice and snug for travel. I've loosened it up so that we can just get it off of here and not take a bunch of camera time. It's got one on each side. So you put those both out of the way, and then this door is going to come down. So the way you keep it from just hanging down here, you've got these 2 support pipes. You put this flat end here, and you put the round end right there in the bumper. So you put one on each side, and that makes it stable here. So it comes out nice and level. And then we're going to bring your tent pieces out. Kind of pull them over the edge here. Make sure they're nice and clear. And then we're going to go inside, take the shepherd's hook, and stand this up. So the way they stored this, they put your shepherd's hook down in the mattress pad. We'll see if we can get to it with that out of the way here. Okay, it's not going to work that way, so you got to just take this completely out of the way, which is easy. I mean, it's not heavy or anything, it's just awkward. Pull it in here. Put this end of your shepherd's hook right here on this little latch for it right there. And then you can push that out. And then this end of it is going to set up here. It's got a little hole in it here. So you want to latch that on that hook. So there is your tent portion. Then you can bring your mattress part back up here. And it's got fabric on one side and you can push the other side. So that's your bed. And we'll walk outside and see it from the outside. This little doodad right here, there are little attachments that you can plug in here. This is a little electrical outlet, like a 12-volt thing. So you can get lights and fans that'll just clip on here, plug into here, and then that gives you light in your tent area, or a fan. But yeah, we'll go outside and look at it from the outside. So here's what you have. You want to just kind of go around and make sure the outside of it's pulled down over the bed. That just makes it a little more secure. But you can see how that works. So that should pretty much answer any questions you have on putting this up and putting it down. What we will do, however, because I promised, we will also take it down for you and show you how that reversing this whole thing works. So the first thing we do is release this off the corners. Just like that. We're going to come in here, and we've discovered that this mattress just gets in the way when we're trying to run the tent up and down, so we'll take it out of the way to begin with. We'll take a shepherd's hook off of here, and then we'll bring that bracket down. Make sure this is laying in here nice and even as much as you can. And we'll put this out of the way for a minute while we put the mattress piece back up there. Like I said, it's not heavy, it's just awkward. So you want to put that in here like that. We'll put the shepherd's hook, store it back in there the way they had it. And then we go outside and close up the base. So you want to try to get all of that folded in, so when you're raising it up, just like that. Take your little brace here out. Put this up. Like that. And sure you do. Okay. So then you bring this down here and then you snug those up. So that's how you put this up and down. Those pipes for the front and back are both going to be in your front pass-through storage area. But the front one works the same way. It's a little bigger, so the pipes are a little longer, so is your shepherd's hook, but it operates exactly the same way. Thank you. Okay, as promised, we're going to put your manual awning out. You have this little doodad here, it's called an awning hook. The first thing we have to know about the manual awning is this little latch right here. To get it down, you have to pull that down, and then when you want to put it back up, you have to flip it up the other way. So it's a lot easier to do when it's down here. So you put that in the down position. You come to these little latches here, you squeeze them. See how that releases? You got one on each arm. Not your arms, the awning arms. Like that. So that releases what locks it into place. So once this little latch is in the down position and you've released the arms, then you put your awning hook through this little strap. That was not coming. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. It was just hung up here at this latch. So, pull it out. It'll stop wherever you stop pulling. The ideal place is for this to be hanging straight down. So that's getting it out. The next thing you want to do is run these arms, loosen those so that it'll slide up and latch into place there. We're going to do the same thing on the other arm. That's why it's nice to maybe have two people doing this. So that does that. Now we're going to go underneath it. And you have this little handle here, and you have all of these notches all the way up through here. There's a handle on each end. So you push that up to whatever height you want, and then latch this back in here so it locks into one of these little holes. And there's your awning. So once the awning's up, it's really nice if you want to give it some pitch so that if you have rain or a lot of dew collects on it and you want the water to run off a particular direction, you just adjust the little handle latches so that you can give the awning a pitch one direction or the other. So that's kind of it. So to take it down, we just reverse all that stuff. So here we go. Take these handles, release it, watch your fingers. It's gonna come down. It's got a little stop on it, so that's as far as it's gonna go. While we're standing here, you see this little contraption here. You can release this and pull that awning leg out and sit it out here and make a 4-point awning if you ever decide to do that. That's what those are for. That'll release, let you walk that arm out and set it up like you've got a 4-poster awning. Most people don't do it, but that's what that's for, so that you can. So that does that, and then the next thing is to release these so that they'll come back down. So you always want to make sure these knobs are loose so that this little arm can travel. And we're going to get out from underneath it because it's a lot easier to work with on the outside than it is on the inside now. So to release this, you have these little tabs, one on each arm. You pull that down, and then that releases. Like, look in here. See how that works? So that releases that so that this can come down. So that stops here. We're going to do the other one. So that does that. So we're almost done. So this is the time where, depending on how tall you are, you definitely want to hold on to this when you flip this little lever up, and you want to have your awning hook in reach. So that's what I have this for. We're going to have this. You want to hold on to this because what happens when you release this little latch, what it's supposed to do is take off and roll back up. And it reminds me of the Walt Disney cartoons where somebody would be putting a blind up or down, and all of a sudden it would take off and they're holding on, and when it's all done, all you see is the feet sticking out of the person that had a hold of the awning. Same thing will happen to you with this if you aren't careful. So you want to hold on to this, and here where it says roll up, you push it there, roll down, you pull it down here. So we're going to flip this up and see how it's ready to take off, and it will go in a hurry. And because I'm short, I'm going to use the awning hook for finish. And there you go. So you got that back up. Then you come over to these arms and you snap them back in. That locks it in place so that when you're going down the road, it doesn't just come opening up on you. So there's your manual awning, as promised. No one lost any fingers, legs, or arms. So enjoy this camper. If you have any questions, give us a holler. Thank you very much.